Rockies fans, and welcome into the DNVR Rockies pregame show. Something new we're trying out this year. Just going over the game, getting a little quicker breakdown for y'all, running over some DraftKings Sportsbook odds, bets for you, see if you can make a little money tonight. We've already wrapped up the last series and shared our thoughts on the All-Star game. So those of you that subscribe to the YouTube have already gotten all of that stuff. So we go tonight. The Colorado Rockies kick off a 3-game set against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Luke Weaver on the hill for the Snakes. Herman Marquez makes his second start of the season after a very disappointing first start for the Colorado Rockies. First of all, just to open it up, Makayla, what are you looking for in this one out of both teams? I know you know these Diamondbacks well, so this is one of those times where you're going to be the most informed among us, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely the most interested in how the starting pitching performs this series. You kind of mentioned Herman Marquez really struggled his, first start. This is Luke Weaver's first start of the year. He was coming off a really, really bad 2020 season, a super bumpy spring training. His fastball and his changeup can be elite at times, but his slider and his curveball are super inconsistent. This is going to be a kind of a defining game for him to kind of set the tone for the rest of the season. Herman Marquez had a great 2020. His short outing on opening day versus the Dodgers wasn't great. He walked a career high 6 batters. He managed to just give up 1 run, which was good for him. But I'm really looking for that starting pitching to kind of become more consistent, especially from Herman, who has, 1 start under his belt now. It wasn't the best, but I think he can definitely build off of that start. He knows what he needs to work on. He knows what he can do better. As far as some of the hitting goes, I'm really excited to see, some of these guys now who have had some looks out there on the field. They're, like I said, the first day, opening week jitters are kind of hopefully dying down at this point. Ketel Marte is coming to town. He went 9 for 16 in the last series against the Padres. The Diamondbacks played for opening weekend. So I'm excited to kind of see how they can deal with Ketel Marte, probably the best bat in their lineup. So it should be a good series. I think it's going to be a little bit more evenly matched than the Dodgers. I'm hoping that the Rockies can come out with some wins on this series. If there's any chance to improve your record, it's going to be against the Diamondbacks in the West. So I'm hoping the Rockies can pull out a series win.
That's pretty astute when you think about after this series, you got the Giants coming up. So if the Rockies want to at least hang around here in the first half or the first month or two and make it interesting, which they almost seemingly always do in the first part of the season, is give you that hope. Sometimes it's legit, sometimes it's not. But this series will be a decent indicator on what kind of ball club this is. My worry would probably be that one of the through lines, and again, we've only seen one series, that the Rockies could play up or play down to their opponents. They were battling that entire series against the Dodgers, and we've broken that down ad nauseum. But now you've got the Diamondbacks coming in an almost identical situation. They were 1-3. They were against an NL West powerhouse in the Padres, and they're on the upswing too. They're in that rebuilding mode. So it'll be interesting to see, if this will be kind of a hard-fought series, or if the Rockies will be able to bounce back and say, no, we're not the basement of the NL West. We're a little bit better than that. Of course, they are going to have to do that without Elias Diaz in the lineup tonight. It's his day off with Dom Nunez behind the plate. And Josh Fuentes not in the lineup still, we believe, with that sore wrist. So there's going to be 2 bats that typically fare well against Luke Weaver, but they will not be starting at Coors Field tonight.
I definitely think this is going to be a gut check series. Like we said, it's pretty much going to be between the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, and the Giants kind of battling it out for last place in the West. So, hopefully the Rockies can pull together a good string of games here, improve, like you were saying, Patrick, that, they really aren't the basement team in the NL West, and they can definitely win some games against the Diamondbacks coming to town.
Getting to that, no real surprises in the lineup, as Patrick said. Just a couple of guys who aren't available. Though with Nunez, you've still got a lot of pop there and a left-on-right matchup. Again, I think Patrick and I have both been very excited about what this catching tandem can bring offensively. I'm always excited when Nunez's bat is in the lineup. He's one of the guys I think has the most to prove and grow this year. So kind of back to the typical stuff that we'd see. Ryan McMahon back in there at third base. Is there anybody now? I'm going over the DraftKings Sportsbook odds. Well, let's actually start with the pitching. I was just talking about the lineup. Let's go back to the pitching for a minute because Herman Marquez is back up at 5.5. The odds makers not concerned at all about his lack of strikeout stuff and lack of command of the fastball. All year last year, this 5.5 for Herman Marquez was easy money on taking the over every single time. I'm not sure. I want to see the fastball be back yet. It could be. Look, if he comes out and strikes out 8 people, 9 people, I'm not going to be surprised. I don't know that I'm aggressively taking the over on this, Matt.
I'll take the over. I think I have a little bit more confidence in Herman Marquez this time around. I think opening day really was just a fluke, a rare, weird performance from him with giving up a ton of walks and really struggling to locate his pitches. But I think, he's kind of gotten that out of his system, and it's time for him to get up there and show everyone why he is the Rockies ace and why he has been given that position in the rotation. So I'm okay with taking the over on this one. I think we'll get a better glimpse of what Herman Marquez really is as a pitcher. And I think he will hopefully be wheeling and dealing out there on the mound, and he can strike a good amount of guys out. So I'll take the over. It's a cautious over, but I'm hoping that we can get some glimpses of what an ace looks like out of Herman Marquez.
I'm also going to take the over on that, particularly just because of how well Marquez has pitched against the Diamondbacks in the past, as far as carving up hitters and getting that sword and getting those Ks. Dating back to 2018, going back to his last 5 starts, 7, 5, 5, 9, and 11 strikeouts against these Diamondbacks. Now, it's going to be a little bit colder out now. It's currently raining right now in Coors Field. They do have the tarp out, and it should stop raining before game time. So some of those colder temperatures can be a little bit bothersome, to a lot of guys trying to feel that grip. We know MLB is out in full force, trying to, make sure that players aren't using any of that sticky stuff that they're typically prone to use. Now, we've still yet to see anybody get any fines or suspensions, so it could be colder environs like today. They look the other way. We'll kind of wait to see what happens. But nonetheless, I think that's a bold pick. I think you can go on the over 5.5 with this weaker hitting lineup.
And if you look at the last series too, the Diamondbacks played against the Padres. They were outscored 20-12, and they just hit a little over 200. The only 2 bats in their lineup that really helped them out at all was, like I mentioned, Ketel Marte going 9 for 16 with 2 homers, 2 doubles, and 2 walks. And then Carson Kelly went 5 for 8 with a double. And other than that, they really didn't generate much offense at all. Eduardo Escobar went 0 for 11. So it's not like they've got some big bats in this lineup. It's not like they're, I don't think they're obviously nowhere near the Dodgers in terms of talent with their lineup. So I'm really not scared of the Diamondbacks, and I don't think Herman Marquez should be either. And if their, previous performance against the Padres is any indication, I think, over 5.5 strikeouts for Herman is it should be a safe bet. I'm hoping it is at least.
All right, there you go. How about that? The two of you taking an over and me taking an under here on the Colorado Rockies. I will say, despite everything you've just said, Mac, I think that makes 100% sense on that offense. There are 2 guys who, when they come to Coors Field, they just rake. And in this one, you can get David Peralta at plus 480 to hit a homer, and you can get Ketel Marte at plus 440 to hit a homer. You like either of those?
I think out of those 2, I would say David Peralta would probably be the one that would go yard. He had, I think, a 2-run triple on Sunday. So, it was pretty close to being a home run. He hit it pretty deep. So I guess if I would have to pick either of those, I would go with David Peralta, but I'm not really confident in either of them. Obviously you can get the whole Coors argument started now with it being a hitter-friendly park. But I think I would have to pick David Peralta out of those 2. But again, I don't strongly feel either way.
Yeah, those are the 2 big guys I was able to pinpoint too, Drew. You're right on there with Marte and Peralta. Similar prices, 440 and 480, respectively. If you're looking for, maybe a dark horse, but the payout is the same as Peralta, it's Eduardo Escobar, who over the course of his career has hit pretty favorably against Marquez in 18 at-bats, has an OPS of over 1,500 against him, so he could be another guy that, again, depending if the lines change, if it goes up a little bit more, go ahead and cash in on Eduardo Escobar to homer at Coors Field tonight.
If you don't feel like betting on, the other guys to hit home runs and you maybe want to bet on some Rockies, You got Story at 310, so not as long of odds, not as much of a payout there, but still Story may be due to get ready to go yard in this one. Where's Charlie Blackmon at 380? I saw Will in the comments saying going with Hilliard, but I don't see Hilliard on here, which is too bad. I think the Rocky with the longest odds for you tonight, who's shown some pop already this year and throughout spring training, who's swinging arguably a hot bat, is Dom Nunez, my dude, down there at a plus 480 as well. So like I've said before, that's one of my favorite bets to do because you can just plop down $5 on a guy to hit a home run. And if he doesn't hit the home run, you're out $5. But every single time that guy comes up to bat, it's really exciting for you because if they do, you can make some pretty solid money that way. So I like some of those. I might throw it down. I might throw $5 down on Nunez tonight.
The longest shot is actually Garrett Atkins at plus, not Garrett Atkins.
That'd be amazing.
That's a long shot. That is going to be a long shot. Although that does make me think about a home run derby, a Legends derby here coming up this summer. Man, I just can't stop thinking about that All-Star game. But Garrett Hampson is plus 580, and he has hit rather favorably in a smattering of at-bats against Weaver. And we've seen him with a series of extra base hits. And you know what? The one thing that the DraftKings Sportsbook does not differentiate between is an outside the park home run and an inside the park home run. And with the outfield grass being a little bit more moist than normal, a double to the gap could very easily be an inside the park home run for the Harrier, a.k.a. the hamster, Garrett Hampson.
We should give him all the nicknames as humanly possible.
He should be the Harrier because it's both a type of very fast bird, and it is a term that's used in running. So he should be the Harrier.
Love it.
Better than hamster.
You like any Rockies to hit home runs tonight, Mac? I mean, obviously, anytime you're picking a guy to hit a home run in a game, you're taking a shot in the dark. But if you were to take one, you got someone?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't have any confidence of Luke Weaver as a starting pitcher. So I think, the Rockies, if they're going to go yard, tonight's the night to go yard because, we're going to be back to Bumgarner the next day. So I think if you're going to pick a Rocky, obviously Trevor Story and Charlie Blackmon are probably your safest bets. I would probably go with Charlie Blackmon because his bat is pretty hot and Charlie Blackmon is my guy. So I'd always take Charlie Blackmon. He's plus 380 on DraftKings Sportsbook. So it's pretty good odds, not horrible. I'm going with my guy, Charlie Blackmon.
Love it. All right. Now we've got to do last time we went 3 for 3 on picking someone to get a hit. Let's see how long we can stay 100%. We're still batting 1,000. Chris Owings lost his batting 1,000, but this show still batting 1,000. So let's go around. Patrick, I'll start with you on this one. Just a Rocky to get a hit tonight.
I'm going to go with Mr. Raimel Tapia.
Patrick, you took my guy.
No, he took my guy.
To go first is, you know what? I get carte blanche there. Yeah, he's got pretty good numbers against Luke Weaver, and 8 career at bats. If Fuentes was in the lineup, even Elias Diaz, those are 2 guys I had marked. Maybe we'll see them later in the game. Of course, by that point, Weaver will probably be out. But as far as starters go, I would pick Garrett Hampson. So he's still out there. Just didn't want to go back-to-back on the Hamp train. There's a third nickname for you, the Hamp train. So I'm going to go El Tapia, El Cangrejo.
El Cangrejo. Good pick.
I don't even care. I'm going to do it. I'm sticking with Charlie Blackmon. Charlie Blackmon's going to rake this game. He's going to hit a home run. He's going to get a couple hits in there. I took him last time, I think. I don't remember. I can't remember. It's been too long.
That's right.
I don't even care. I love him so much. It doesn't even matter. Charlie Blackmon's going to get a hit or 2 or 3 and a home run. Book
Love it. Love it. I'll take Brymac. I'll go with McMahon to come up with a hit tonight. Yeah, I like that. Probably extra bases. The last time I said that about Crone, he gave me a single and it was fine. I was very happy with it, so I should just take what I get, but still. So we got Blackmon, Tapia, Ryan McMahon to get over. Oh, they do have a bet on there for Tapia to get over. Okay, so that's good. Since we were all going to take Tapia to get a hit, are any of us going to take him to get more than one hit tonight? Yeah,
I would definitely take that over. He's been phenomenal in that leadoff spot. His on-base percentage is probably the highest on the Rockies lineup right now. So He's doing a really good job getting on base. I would feel comfortable taking the over on 1.5 hits, especially against, again, a pitcher like Luke Weaver. It's not like he is a scary guy out there on the mound. So I would take the over on 1.5 hits for Tapia, no problem. And we already talked about Marquez with the 5.5 strikeouts. Again, I would take the over on that. Aside from 2 or 3 batters in the Diamondbacks lineup, I'm really not scared of anyone. So I'm very comfortable taking the over on both of those.
Yeah, the Tapia payout on over 1.5 is plus 191, so that's a little bit better of a payout. My question is, do you want to go? No, you don't want to take the over on Chris Owings on getting a hit, partially because you got to pay out. He's also not in the starting lineup.
He's not the starting lineup, but
don't do that one. I also wouldn't take that even if he was in the starting lineup. So
the deal is, if you take a guy that's not in the starting lineup, is that you've got an excitement throughout the entire game, and you hear this guy's coming up to the plate in a pinch hit performance, you are the most excited person in the world for that guy and that pinch hit at bat, and so that puts a little juice on the game if you're brave enough to do that.
Although I do wonder, since Chris Owings obviously spent some time with the Diamondbacks, if he has an advantage at all. I don't know. Maybe I still wouldn't even do it.
He has faced 3 of these relievers in their bullpen, in the D-backs bullpen, and he does have hits against 2 of those 3 guys, Chris Davinsky and Alex Young. So there's that going for him as well.
Yep.
Austin's also got the Rockies over 5.5 runs tonight. They've been scoring a lot already. Makayla's given you all the reasons why that might be the case. Look, this offense was supposed to be terrible, but do they put up another solid number tonight?
I think so.
Yeah, another line that I do like also is the over on 1.5 runs in the first inning. That's plus 180, and
I like
again,
that too.
That's something that doesn't go either way. Whether it's the Rockies getting 2, 1 apiece, whatever it is, we usually see a couple runs scratch across in the first inning. That keeps it interesting, puts you in the win column early on.
Okay, yeah, I like that one. And then the last one, and I was trying to find it on here. I can't actually just find the Rockies to win the baseball game.
I'm not sure that that's possible. You can just pick the winner and loser of a game. That doesn't make sense. Why would anybody want to do that, Drew?
Why would anyone say?
I did write it down. It was minus 127, just straight up. And you can also give runs too. That's another thing that's interesting. Is you can give 1.5, because obviously a half a run is just, hey, they're going to win the game by a run. So you can end up giving essentially a run and a half. So will the Rockies win by 2? Don't know. And actually, at the moment, it looks like it's off the board. We'll see what happens if are the Rockies a group of mudders? Do they play better in the rain and in the mud? I don't know. But right now, currently, DraftKings is kind of postponed some of the odds on this game. So we'll see.
I love that theory.
We'll see what's going on with that. Yeah, maybe the Rockies are a bunch of mudders.
Well,
time to get down and dirty.
However it comes back or not, do you like the Rockies to win the ball game tonight?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I mean, it's a huge disparity in terms of pitching talent out there on the mound, in my opinion. Like I said, aside from Ketel Marte, I'm just really not scared of the Diamondbacks.
Scares me specifically, but yeah, I think those 2 guys and I'm sure they're saying other than Trevor Story and Trevor Black.
Exactly. I'm sure they're probably saying the exact same thing. But I think in terms of advantage, if you're going to look at an advantage, I think we have an advantage, of course, in the starting pitching, as well as I think our bullpens are evenly matched. So, I think the Rockies are going to win this one. And if there is a game to win, it's going to be this one because, like I said, we have Bumgarner tomorrow. So it's time for the Rockies to win this game and the series. But yes, I think the Rockies win tonight.
It's Bumgarner, Senzatella going in game 2. And then in game 3, John Gray is slated to pitch, but, Buddy did kind of intimate at the end of Sunday's game that they're not hard and fast with keeping the rotation in the same way. Not necessarily so much for John Gray because he was expected to make his next start after having some full body cramping in game 3. But I think if they're going to go ahead and they're going to need a 5th starter this week. So they don't necessarily have to wait for the 5th spot right after Gomber. They can slot him in the day before Gomber or the day before Gray. And so, with the maybe a question mark around Thursday, maybe this again could be that much more of a pivotal game for the Rockies to be able to win.
All right. I like it. Yeah, I think the Rockies take this one tonight, especially if Mac's right about Marquez, the Rockies should win this one easily. If he's still struggling with the fastball, I think it's a knockdown, drag-out fight. I think a lot of runs are going to be scored in this game, though, at least by one team, maybe by both. We'll see what happens. So should be a fun baseball game and a very winnable series. I'm taking the Rockies to win the game and the series against the Diamondbacks. But we'll come back with more bets and odds and all that good stuff for you throughout the week. You've got to be subscribed to YouTube for all this stuff. It's not going to end up on the podcast. So the only way to get it is to make sure you're joining us for these things live. The pre-games, it's just going to be a whole lot of fun running over these. Hopefully we stay at 1,000. We'll see on our predictions. I'm guessing not, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So thanks everyone for hanging out with us. We appreciate all of you, and we'll see you next time.